Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. I don't know how long this is going to last with my camera being on the stand, but I want to talk about the Kune-Kune's hut, the man cave is what we usually call it, the little tent. Hang on one second. Go away. Okay, so that was almost not a good thing. My camera would have hit the mud. But this was the Kune-Kune pig's man hut. It was a tent made out of cattle panels, and we bought a really heavy-duty tarp to put on top. And then on the ground we put some bricks down. They have their mineral block in here. This was their temporary house until we built them a more permanent house. Now this was just for the boys, so we called it the man cave. It has withheld all of the high winds, the storms. It has a couple little spots where a limb did push through on it, and we had to fix those little patches, but it held up for over 2 years and it's still good right now. Move. Got a Kune-Kune rubbing on my tripod, so it's probably not going to last much longer. Move. Go. Get. So something new they want to rub on it and explore. But so I'm going to bring y'all closer. Oh my goodness. I'm going to bring y'all closer and show you the new pig house that my husband built. So it was this was a temporary house, right? But it worked. It was 3 cattle panels and a large tarp. Worked fine. It's still working, and I'm kind of hesitant to take it down because they do still use it in the summertime. They need shade because pigs do not sweat, but they do have wallers. So I'm kind of torn between, do I tear it down or just leave it up? And the Muscovy ducks also enjoy it during the summertime for shade. So I kind of need the cattle panels for another project, but we'll see. I'll probably leave it up at least until spring, just so they can have it as an extra shelter. They do still use it and lounge around in it, but their new house is like a palace compared to this one. So I'm going to jump off of here, grab my camera, and bring you closer and show you the amazing pig house that my husband built for the boys, for the Kune-Kune males. And I'll bring you right back. Are you going to go mess with my tripod again? Something new to mess with? We didn't knock it over though. Curious. If you've never raised Kune-Kunes, they are pasture pigs. They are wonderful. They don't mess up very much. They have their little couple of wallering holes just to stay cooled off. But the meat is amazing. The pork, the lard. About every 2 years we will dispatch another one. So we always have a few extra growing, and we have our breeders that we keep. They are our breeders, so they are our pets. So it's a mindset, you know, you have to plan on. It's just part of the process. That's their purpose. Now we did keep one male that is cut and one that is uncut. We had him up for sale. He is, I guess they're about 9 months old now, so he is still available. But nevertheless, we do keep a breeder pair, and sometimes you do get stuck with a couple extras, which is actually great because then you know you always have food if you need it. So we do raise our own pork here on the homestead. They are smaller pigs, so they are pasture pigs. So they're not like a 1,000-pound hog or nothing like that. Whenever they're dressed out, they go about 350 to maybe 400 pounds. But the good thing is you can always dispatch one when you need it. You don't have to grow them out completely. And if you do that, you'll have a good amount of pork, and plus the meat will be very, very tender. For us, we think it tastes a lot like beef, which is so surprising from raising pork. But I guess them being free range, pasture pigs. We have raised different types of pigs here on the homestead, and by far the Kune-Kunes are the best. They have the best meat, and their deposition is wonderful. We've never had a problem with them tearing out fences or tearing up anything. They've just been a pleasure to be around here on the homestead. Now let's get to this new pig house that my husband built for them, and I'm going to show y'all that up close. He did an amazing job on it, y'all. I think he kind of outdid himself. So I built the new chicken house for the Lavenders, and while I was doing that, he was working on the boys' new house. I think we've looked up several of these. Some of them call them chalet or something like that. I don't know. But this is the new pig house. Now, we did use recycled materials. As you can see, we have the cypress siding on the outside, and the top is recycled tin from our old woodshed. Now, this one is built a little bit different than the ones that you may see online, because this is simply just for the boys. It does not have that little spot in the back, a little rail so that little piglets could get through, because these are for the boys. It's not necessary. Excuse me. And it has skis underneath it so that we can move it once this spot gets nasty. It has started to rain, but I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this video. So we had thought about putting bricks underneath here on the bottom so it'd be up off the ground, but they waller it out pretty good and push the dirt up to the sides. And plus, if you had the bricks underneath here, then it would make it harder to move it. So we could just hook it to our tractor or our four-wheeler and move it if we need to move it. So we did 4x4s on the corners because it is for pigs. Even though they're pigs and they're good boys, they still could possibly root and destroy it. So we did 2x4s on the sides and for the top. And then on the very bottom rail, we have a 2x6 so that they don't push the siding off the back side. And then we did have some house wrap for working on our house, so we went on ahead and used a little bit of that and wrapped it first, and then put the cypress siding on it just to give them a little more warmth. They all get in here at night. I think it is 6 foot wide by, I can't remember, I think it might be 8 foot, but the back is pretty low. The top is about, I think, 4 foot high. I'm gonna back out of here if I can get up and show you more from a distance what it looks like. It is just adorable. Turned out great. Now you can see the skis underneath it, so we just hook to that with a chain or something and pull it around. We need to move it, they get it wallered out, muddy, whatever. Let's go around to this side. Then I'll show you the back side. It looks so cute, so rustic. They really enjoy it already. They did not hesitate. I think it was the second night that we had it out here. They abandoned the man hut and realized, hey, this is much warmer. So let's go ahead and go across the back. I think the back is only about 24 to 30 inches off the ground. So it has a nice slant for rain, for wind. It just works good. Now, whenever we let the goats out, if they come back here and pasture in the back with the pigs, sometimes we do, they may jump up on it, but if they do, it's fine. We knew that was a possibility, but we don't let them out back here in the back very often. So on the back, we use all the cypress that we had that we could possibly use, and then of course we used what we had, so we used 1 piece of tin across the back on the bottom. And then all of this is the recycled tin from our woodshed. So we did use some new and some old. We put some hooks right there so we can hook chains to it, to pull it, to move it. But it works great. They love it. My husband did a wonderful job building this. This was one of those things we were needing to do, but the man hut, man tent, man cave, whatever you want to call it, still worked and still did good, but we knew they needed a little more shelter than what they had. But I can tell you, they still love their man hut, their man cave, and they still sleep in there and lounge in there all the time. But unfortunately, I am going to be using some of that old tent and probably going to just tear it down this spring. This is what it looks like from the outside. I mean, it's pretty tall. I can't quite stand up in it, but we just drove some stakes down for those that may need to make a temporary shelter for your animal. We had, I think, 4 T-posts on each side, and I think I've showed it before. And then we wired it to it on the bottom, and then stood it up the cattle panels on the inside. That way, if it pushed out, it would push out on the back of the cattle panel. Sorry y'all, get so confused sometimes. So the cattle panel, when it tries to push out, it would push against the post. And let me tell you, it has done amazing in the high winds. Yeah, it's a little warpy, a little woppy now, but worked good. Normally I would throw a bunch of hay on top of those bricks, but now that they have their new house, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I just saw that. Let me mention that real quick too. Come around the back side. So people don't think about giving their pigs mineral blocks. It is very important to still provide extra minerals for your Kune-Kunes. The same thing with goats, cows. A lot of people think of it for horses, but your pigs need extra nutrition and minerals as well. So we always have that available for them if they should need it. And trust me, animals know if they need it. They may not mess with it for a while, and then you'll see them back out here getting after it. So we always make sure that all of the animals, like our goats and the pigs, is what we have now, that would enjoy a salt lick, that they have what they need. So not a bad idea. The price of them has gone up just like everything else, but for the price and for what it's worth, keeping your animals safe and healthy and happy is what it's all about. So I think that is it. I'm going to go ahead and give you another shot of the new build and go ahead and get off of here because it is starting to sprinkle a little bit more. But if you have any more questions or want to know more of the dimensions and all that, I'll have to ask my husband on that and email me, and I'll send you that if that would help someone out. So that's all for today. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Keep working hard, keep moving forward, and don't give up. Keep striving and keep trying. You'll get there. So thanks for joining me today, and thanks to all of my new subscribers. And I guess that's all. So farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.